Alright, we're back. Long ass call. Alright, what am I working on? Tranny. We're gonna work on a tranny. No more motors. We're gonna work on trannies. Oh, there's a tranny. Alright. So, here's our transmission. Needs a little assembly. Okay, bearing's good. We already put the new bearing in there. Gotta make sure the shifter works. 3/8 punch works really good for shifting. Just take this and push it down like this. This one's really lazy. Doesn't have much balls behind this thing coming back. So it's pretty slow there. See how slow that is? So there's something wrong in this thing. Might be rusty, it might just be full of goo. Something's wrong with it. Alright. These out of the way. So, this just has a snap ring here you pull out. And the whole thing is going to fall apart in our face here. My snap ring pliers are about worn out. They don't bite very good anymore. There we go, got it off that time. Probably going to squeeze it up a little bit here, but make it tighter before I put it back on. Okay, so there's a spring under this here. If you take this apart, it takes the tension off. This bolt holds it all together. You can take it off too if you want. You got access to everything. So I think I'm going to pull this one here off. It's easier. This work. This one here, the lock is still there, so that's good. So I got to blow this tab off. Alright, so we take our chisel, knock it off a little bit. That'll be enough. That wasn't very tight. It fell off. There's your plunger. Appears to be lubricated with goo. It's always real nice. Wipe it off. Good enough. Nice and free in there. Some fresh grease. Nice and flexible now. There you go. So that's not binding up no more. So I'm going to knock this apart. So this first piece comes off as this piece. So you wipe off where the goo all goes there. That's clean now. This piece here comes out of this piece. It's three pieces stacked together. There's also spring tension in here. So these two big springs in here are going to come flying out, chasing after me if I'm not too careful. Of course, I'm not very careful. Tension seems to be pretty good on this spring. Definitely got a lot of goo on that. Yep, you can feel the goo on it. CRC on there to free it up. Okay, let's smooth that up a lot. I'm going to take this one here, CRC it. Make sure that's free on that. Yeah, looks good. And this piece over here, springs are there. These will break on you eventually. So this has a bunch of goo inside of here and dirty in there. So I'm going to go ahead and re-clean this. Take this piece here, clean it. This one here looks pretty free. I think we're good with that one. This piece here, I'm going to go scrub this with a scrub pad here to knock off some of those rusty deposits that are in here. Clean up a little bit. And we'll be back. I'll clean some of the crap off this bolt too. Alright, we'll be right back. Okay, I got everything all cleaned up now, so this should all work easier now. Nice and loose. Let's go mungie out of there. Okay, so now we're going to reassemble. Even though this is all in oil, we're going to put a little grease on it for assembly. Because right now it's dry. There's no oil in here. So I'll just go ahead and just put a little bit here and there. Stop some of the binding. Okay, so you just go in there like this, push them in flat. Use your flat blade screwdriver to push them in the rest of the way. There you go. Same thing with the other one. Okay. This just goes down inside of that. Pin goes in between the two springs. These have to go down around this piece here. So you got to pull these two down with your other fingers. This one here is first. Ah, come on, quit fighting me. Okay, that one's first. Then this one goes down. You just hold it down and push in, goes down. Get nice and flat. This piece goes on top of that. Easy enough. Your thrust washer goes back in there. Sure which direction was, I think it came out that way. I rebent the snap ring so it's good again. Sharp side goes up so it won't fall off as easy. Make sure it fits tight on there so it doesn't slide around. If they're loose, they slide real easy, so when they're tight, they don't want to move. It's good. Okay, this should all be good to go now. Okay, we already got lube on this one already. Dried up old greasy oil crap there. That has to collapse in the plunger right there. Put that in and then you gotta tighten it up. And we got a lock tab on here too to reuse. Make sure everything's gonna look good. It does. Couple of clickies there is all it needs. Okay, let's see if it works better this time. That springs up a little bit better now. There's neutral. Now it's working. Okay. Lock the flat tab around there. Tighten it up. Let's see. I think this time one lines up better, but can't get under it though. Relock it with the same one then. Let's see, I got a punch right here. Use the punch. There you go, wraps around both sides. Okay, so that's all back together. Should work. This is the left side shaft. This is flush. On the earlier models, this just sticks up. It's not counterbored down like this. That's how you identify which ones are which. If you have an XLCR one, it's got a mirror image reverse shift pattern. That's the only one that does that. Okay, now I'm going to put the trailer together in the high gear. This is our high gear. Make sure it fits good on our shaft here. Feels good. Okay, so this is going to get pressed into the bearing right here. I don't know if this thing's loose or tight. Sometimes they're loose, so you want to make sure they don't move around. Put a Loctite on it. Damn, I just used this bottle earlier. It's already locked up. Light coat here on the inside of the bearing area here. A little bit on the inside of the bearing also. Okay, just go press it together. Shouldn't have any problem after that. Okay, let's go with the press. I'll go down there and press on a little bit. Alright, I don't want to just go in. The Loctite probably didn't help the situation. My tube to support it. Usually I just push on these uneven surfaces, it goes right down. This one didn't. So I took this tube, which is on the inside of the bearing right here. You push flat. It goes right down flat like it's supposed to. Okay, that one's in now. Okay. This is our gear there. So we need to put the gear over here, which is this one here with 5 teeth on it. It goes on there like that. Feels a lot tighter than it was on the other shaft, which is good because it felt really, really loose on the other one. One more thing that was worn out on the other shaft. Okay, just take a little bit of grease, put in here. A little bit of an oil groove in here. A little grease on that too. And put that on there. Good. Shows a snap ring. And a washer with 2 little titties to keep it from rotating. Go in there nice and tight. I think the one that goes on that one. That would be the other one. It would be this big one here. There we go. That one fits a lot better. Okay, and this snap ring here goes on here. You have to spread it out to put it on there. Use my spreading tool. Try not to spread any more than it has to go on. Take the screwdriver, make sure it's tight. Pretty tight. That's good. Make sure the gear is not tight. Put it in play and it spins freely. Okay, that one's good. that back on there. Okay, so that main shaft set's good to go. Where's our countershaft? So here's our new countershaft. Just make sure it fits inside the bearing over here. Feels good. Make sure it fits in this one over here. Feels good. Okay, so all those are good. A little grease inside of these things to make sure they're lubed. This one has oil in it already, but we'll put a little grease in there too. What the hell? Grease never hurt anybody, right? Okay, now this one here, a bunch of gears are going here. So we got our low gear. 5 dog is main shaft. Main shaft. 4 dog is counter shaft. They look the same. There's also a difference over here. This is flat, and this has a little bit of shoulder here. Main shaft, counter shaft. So this one goes into here. Dog's into that one. Okay, more gears. More gears. There's that washer, didn't fit the other one. Spacer. Gear washer. Okay, so grease in here so it's not totally dry. That just sits on top of the splines. Like that. It goes the other way. Washer goes in first against the edge. And the gear goes on like that. And you got your spacer. And you got your large gear with a small hole. You got a lip on this side and flat on this side. The lip goes out. Sometimes these are tight, sometimes they're loose. This one appears to be tight. Tight means you get to press them on the press. Or hammer. So this one's tight, so it's got to be pushed down with a press. So when these go on, make sure you don't lock this gear up. You have to have some free play in here. So let's go see what it's going to take to make this go all the way down. So you want to make sure you have a little bit of clearance on that gear. And this will affect your countershaft in-play clearance. This gear not moving around. Too much in-play. Too little in place, so it didn't move. By dropping it, you're changing the in play. Okay, that's your minimum in play. See the clearance? That's fairly tight, so don't make it any tighter than that. Could be looser. Countershaft in play adjustment is a stack. Everything on this thing stacks up with clearance, and all of those clearances add up to what the in play is. This one's separate because it's a press fit over here. That's the only one that's going to be preset. All the other ones, it's the stack height. Okay, this gear goes on here like that. That's what engages it. Okay. That's down. Okay, put a little grease up on this. There's usually 2 of these washers. I only see 1. Yep, I see the 1. It's a bearing washer. It's our little gear here for countershaft. Like this. This is our countershaft spacer. See how thin that is? It goes right in there. That usually means there's another washer in here. There should be 2. Only see 1. Now, if you want to make your shifting real tight, I mean it's real close, you only want 1 washer there, and you put a big thick washer out here. And that will tighten up your gear spacing here, and then you have to play around your shift fork offset to make that work. So this is all stuff you can play with and tailor to your application. So we'll see if this works with just 1. Probably not, but we'll see. Okay, this whole assembly now can go on to the transmission here. It's under like that. Keep the grease off your bench, and you won't get all greasy. Okay, need some grease inside of this. There's a bushing inside of here that needs to be lubricated. It might take a while before any oil gets up there from the gearbox. There's also a needle bearing on this side. Same thing. Put some lubricant in there. Make sure the bearings will slide. I'll just rotate. Okay, they're in there. Okay, now this gear goes on here. And this whole assembly drops in here like this. See, I won't slide past that because these are 2 big gears, there ain't room. So what you do is you put this one down here first, then you put this one down here like this. And you line up and it goes together, see? It's all assembled up like that. The only problem is you left all the shifting stuff out. That'd be these things. These make a difference. So these control where everything sits. These 2 gears here move up and down. These control the shifting. These control those gears. Alright, where's my little bushings at? There's 1. I know we had them out earlier. Keep losing parts here. Yep. Got 1. Must be 2. Oh well. Here's a shift shaft after I cleaned it all up. This is all rusty and crappy looking and worn pretty heavy up here. So if you flip it around, you can put the wear in a different spot. Know which way you want to go. Okay, so this comes back off. So these forks are marked what they are right here. This one's a plus 20. That means going from this pin here, it's 20 thou taller this way than stock. This one over here, there's nothing written on it there, nothing here. They also have a flat spot right here and right in here sometimes. These are made out of brass. There's a lot of them made out of steel also. So this one here is a standard. Standard usually goes on countershaft. Once you put this engage your shifting mechanism here, then you put the shaft through and go all the way down. You have the bushing on here. Right now we have 1 bushing. The other one's missing right now. I have to go find it. Okay, that goes inside the dog, like that. Goes up there, slide it up till it's out of the way a little bit. And then we'll put this in here like this. Like that. Okay, I gotta find my missing bushing. It's somewhere in a pile of junk. Probably looking right at it. So far I've been finding stuff just looking right at it. But I'm not seeing it. Okay, I'll be back. Might take a few minutes.